And how would you even know if you're eligible to apply for express entry when you don't even know your knock, when you don't even know what it entails and other things that follows? This is what we're talking about in this video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please kindly subscribe. If you're a returnee, you're welcome. As you know, my name is Manaria. I love to research and give valid information, and I make videos about immigration to Canada, US, UK, and other countries subsequently. Please do subscribe. You can share my video to people in the same WhatsApp group with you or with your family members. You can comment. I'll be more than happy to respond to your questions or answer your questions. I upload videos every single week, at least two videos. So please hit that bell so that each time I upload new video, you will be the first. Remember, this immigration stuff is about fastest fingers. And it's always good to get your documents ready. I always say that, so that whenever anyone comes up, any opportunity comes up, you quickly apply. Most times it's first come, first serve, most times. So you're welcome. Today we're going to be talking about express entry in general. In this video, we're also going to talk about, we're going to compare other express entries and also look at how the new knock system of this 2021 knock system and using tier has changed or even affected eligibility for express entry. And of course, I can say it's for good. It's really for good. So I want to talk about express entry. So there are many pathways to come into Canada. Express entry is one of them. Now, in the express entry, when you want to talk about express entry program, they have federal skilled worker program, they have federal skilled trade program, and then Canadian express class. Okay, so if you want to start application for express entry, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to know which express entry are you qualified for, which of the programs. They also have the fourth one, which is the province, like the one nomination from different provinces in Canada. And each province has their own criteria for nomination. So now, when you want to go through this process, you want to know if you are eligible, and then you're comparing the classes of express entry. And I want you to understand that for the province one, the province programs, okay, they have the Atlantic pilot, they have the one that I did the video, they have about 4 different pilots for provincial nomination. So most times, the express entry, the tiers or the knock, I've already explained in the previous video how you can find out your knock. Now, when you find out your knock, you will know whether you're eligible for express entry. If your knock is not included in this knock and tiers that are in the express entry, what are you going to do? You check for the, you know that, okay, your option is for the provincial nomination. So for the province, being nominated from a province, if you get nominated in a province, you will realize that you're getting a nomination certificate, and that will offer you 600 points. And you know what? In some of the latest express entry points, they haven't even drawn anything that is up to 600, like even people up to 490 something, like in the late 490s, they got invited, right? So imagine if you have like maybe few points and then you apply through province, probably your tier or your knock is not an express entry eligibility, and then you're lucky, and then those province, because the province one, it could be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, it could be any knock, right? It depends on what that province desire or what they are needing at that point in time, right? So now when you apply through that province and then you get invited through the province, they offer you a certificate. With that certificate, whether you're tier 1, tier whatever tier you are in, you're in already for express entry. That 600 points is even automatic. Even if you didn't have anything else, of course, you must have your IELTS, right? So, and sometimes these province, of course, you must always write IELTS, just that for the IELTS and, for the province one and IELTS, it's always not so high. They don't need that high. Of course, if you have the very high one, you're still good to go. And you can also do CELPIP. A lot of people have been doing very, very well with this CELPIP compared to IELTS. Anyway, so, but that's another thing altogether. Now, when we want to compare, we're looking at Canadian experience class, we're looking at federal skilled worker program, and then federal skilled trade program. So when you want to talk about the eligibility criteria for express entry, you want to talk about the language skills, the type or work level experience, that's the experience you've had in the past, okay? And then you want to talk about the amount of work experience, and then whether you have a job offer, and then education. These are the key requirements for you to get into express entry. Remember, again, express entry is just what you apply, and then your expression of interest, right? And then if you're lucky and you're selected, you're asked to apply for permanent residence, and from there you become a permanent resident. By the time you've stayed in Canada for like 3 years, you're eligible to apply for citizenship, and voila, you're a Canadian citizen. Very easy, right? I know. Anyways, so the language, for the language skill, you see, they need you to have either English or French, okay? So if you have English, you're good. If you have French, you're good. This is for Canadian experience, for those who are already in Canada or they've had experience in Canada. However, the CLB for that's for the IELTS, or either your IELTS or CELPIP. The CLB is only CLB 7, tier 0, or tier 1 occupation. You can have CLB, that is CLB 5 in IELTS, for tier 2 or tier 3 occupation. So for this tier, if you don't know what I mean by tier, please, I'm going to link that video to the description. You can watch that video so that you will know what is your tier and what tier you belong. Find your NOC. You just need to type your occupation. You will watch that video, you follow what I did there, and you'll be able to know your NOC and your tier, and you see the one that you're qualified for. So for the federal skilled worker program, you just need to have CLB 7 for you to be eligible for it, okay? Then for skilled trade, you need to have CLB 5 or CLB 4. So CLB 5 for speaking and listening, CLB 4 for reading and writing. These ones are usually not so high. So your type or level of work experience. So Canadian experience in an occupation listed in one or more of this NOC. So for this Canadian work experience, okay, so if you have work, probably you have work experience in tier 0, 1, 2, or 3, you're good to go. You can get into the pool for this, okay? For the amount of work experience, 1 year, at least 1 year in the last 3 years. Now, they don't need you to have a job offer. Whether you have a job offer or not, you're good to go. And then for education, it's not required. Some people may have been in Canada for years and they didn't even go to school, or maybe they're learning trade, or maybe they're there as a welder or whatever. So education is not required, but if you have, of course, it's a plus, right? So this one for skill level is also 0 to 3, okay? And for your amount of work experience, 1 year continuous work experience in the last 10 years. So combination of full-time or part-time or more than one job in the primary occupation. So let's say for this one, your primary occupation is like maybe pharmacist or something, or home support worker or whatever. Not home support worker. Let me say pharmacist, doctor, or lawyer, or accountant, or teacher, mathematician, whatever. So you must have had work experience in that job, or maybe another job related to that. So job offer, you don't need a job offer, but of course, if you have a job offer, your point will be higher too. You'll be given a point. Remember, this is a point-based system. The higher your point, the higher your chances of you being selected. So education, secondary education is required. Of course, if you had more than that, you're welcome. So this one is for the federal skilled trade, right? So work experience in skilled trade under key group of tier 2 or tier 3. Major group 72, technical trade and transportation officers and controllers, excluding major job group 726. So all of these are what you're going to put in the knock one that I showed you, so that you know your knock, you know the group that you major group, the group, and then you see the job description. You can see processing, manufacturing, utilities, utility supervisors, central control and process operators, aircraft assembly assemblers, inspectors. You can see cooks, butchers, and bakers. These are where these ones belong. So they need you to have maybe someone that is a chef, someone that is a baker, you know, all of these ones are classified under federal skilled trade, okay? And then 2 years, within the last 5 years, you must have had this amount of work experience, okay? But this one, you will need to have a valid job offer, okay? So job offer for a total of at least 1 year. So certificate of qualification in that skilled trade issued by a Canadian provincial or territorial or federal authority. So this one, you still need a certificate. If you say you're a chef, you're a butcher or whatever, you need certificate, but education is not required anyways. So this is it for um, express entry. So if you want to go through provincial nomination, that is awesome too. So all you need to do is to go through different provinces and then see what some of the like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, they have different criteria where you can apply for expression of interest. And then if you're lucky and they need, and probably your profession is what they needed at that point that you applied, they can invite you to apply and then offer you certificate of a nomination. That will be automatic 600 points. And in that way, highest in the next 2 weeks already, next 2 weeks from the time you got that certificate and then uploaded it in your express entry profile, highest you'll be nominated. Because I mean, 600 points, what they've been, the people that they've been nominating in the past weeks has not been, they even had 400 plus 500 as the case may be. So yeah, basically this is what you need to know. So having gone through this, you can you know, make your decision to see if you want to go through express entry. There are other routes that people can come into Canada. I will still make a video on that, but for now that will be all. Thank you for listening. If you're new, please kindly subscribe and click on notification button. I will be uploading videos, sometimes more than 2 videos in a week, or sometimes even daily, depending. But I know that at least I upload 2 videos at least in a week. You can share my videos with people. I mean, you might be helping someone out there by giving that information. The truth is that some people don't even know they are eligible. Some people don't even, information is power, I'm telling you. When you give someone information to succeed, you've given that person everything they needed. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for clicking on the subscription button, clicking on that notification, that bell there, so that whenever I upload my videos, you'll be first to watch. Thanks and have